and 5,000 kilometers of Saudi Arabia's most grueling terrain. It's the Dakar Rally. Broadcast brought to you by Toyota Gazoo Racing.
Drama and solidarity on the Dakar as Quintanilla says goodbye.
Every time you have this type of situation, it reminds you how dangerous the sport is and how quickly a Dakar can finish.
A glorious day for South Africa with 3 drivers in the top 4.
Any day you can win a stage at Dakar is a good day, and I mean any day you're leading the Dakar is an even better day.
Pow Pow, 20-year-old Navarro claims his first Dakar stage.
We had the mentality to push now that we won our first stage together, so it's really fun that we did that.
Welcome to Dakar 2025, where each day has its own challenges.
It was a very, very hard stage with a lot of stones and a lot of fast. It was shocking, big holes, and yeah, you see we are all dusty. It was dust everywhere.
I hate this stage. It looks like fast, but one of the most uncomfortable one.
I spent 200 kilometers in the dust of a truck, which was annoying and exhausting.
And one of the major challenges of the day was an almost impossible climb.
Go that way. If you get it there, then we reverse it backwards. Yeah. Right, good. All right, good. Do that again. All right, good. Go down. Right, one more time. 4-1. One more time. One more time. All right, perfect. Okay, where are you going? I think we must reverse now. Reverse backwards down here, I'll guide you. Go, right. Right. All right, good. This is going to be the trick. On the way home after a tough stage, we cook a boil hot to start a fire with us. Look. Thanks. Cheers.
Stage 9 of Dakar 2025 will give the riders and drivers further opportunities to explore the breathtaking Saudi scenery. They may not have too much time to appreciate it though, because this is going to be a fast one. A fast one, but by no means a straightforward one, even if the distance is a little shorter, 357 kilometres against the clock. There is tough navigation on the menu and some rough, stony tracks. There was some talk around the bivouac of this being a transition stage, but there's no such thing as an easy day at the Dakar. Well, there were just 11 Rally GP riders at the start line this morning, and I'm sorry to report that another rider withdrew from the rally today. Aaron Murray had a nasty crash at kilometre 187 and had to be airlifted to hospital in Riyadh, where they were checking him for head, leg and pelvis injuries. We wish the South African a speedy recovery.
I hope everything is okay with him. It's a big shame because he was really hoping to do well in the last few stages of the race. So it's really bad that this happened, but it's rally.
Stefan Zvitko was the first man to reach Murray and called for the medical helicopter. He was one of several riders to stop, along with Tobias Ebster and Romain Dumontier from Rally 2. The most experienced biker taking part in this Dakar, Zvitko is once again vying to finish as the top privateer. In his 16th consecutive appearance, he is 9th overall. Lorenzo Santolino was one of several riders to say that today wasn't nearly as easy as it looked on paper. The Spaniard wasn't feeling great at the start and made an early mistake, so he just decided to ease off until he found his rhythm. The Sherco man got stuck in a canyon at one point, but otherwise he was pretty happy with the day. He dropped 15 minutes though, and he's now in a fight to finish in the top 10. The day's other big story concerned Tosha Shirena, who had a big crash at the start of the stage. He had already been struggling a little with an injured shoulder in recent days, and then this happened. We'll let the Spaniard describe it for us in his own words.
Today I had a big crash at the beginning, more or less at kilometer 20. I had a big crash. I didn't have too much visibility with the sun in the first hour in the morning.
Tosha limiting his losses to 6 minutes 46. He remains 2nd overall.
After that crash, if you are all okay and continue riding is super good. So yeah, happy for that and ready. I lost many times, but yeah, it's part of the game. So now everything clear and ready for tomorrow.
Nacho Cornejo said it wasn't the best day to make meaningful time gains, but he was still clipping along nicely until the very end of the stage, only 30 seconds down with 40k to go. However, he then made a mistake and lost around 4 or 5 minutes, so he dropped out to 6th on the stage. The Chilean's feeling very good though and very comfortable on the Hero. He is now in 7th place overall. It wasn't the best day for Skylar Howes, who's been drifting further away from the overall podium since the start of this second week. He said the navigation was a bit confusing and he went up the wrong track a few times. No massive mistakes, but enough to lose 4 minutes 40. He's now 6th in the standings.
I was doing good until I wasn't. It's funny for them to call it a transition stage because it's still just as physically demanding, and you know, even though it was really fast today, there were some places that the navigation wasn't so easy. And this Dakar is proven to be one of the most challenging ones I've done for sure, so I'm happy to make it through and continue on. Ricky Brabeck caught up to Shirena just after his early crash and let his Honda teammate tag behind him for the rest of the stage. Ricky said it was a bit chilly out there and he's looking forward to some dunes in a few days after a Dakar that's been full of rocks. The American finished 4th and remains 5th overall. 3rd place went to the overall leader, Daniel Sanders, who is bidding to become the first rider since Mark Comer in 2009 to lead the Dakar from start to finish. The Australian was actually a little disappointed in his performance, saying he could probably have made bigger gains, but after getting lost a few times, he came in 3 minutes down. Chucky is getting asked about his rivals a lot, especially the Hondas, but he says he's just focusing on what he has to do as he closes on a maiden Dakar crown. Adrian van Beveren set off in 2nd today, but didn't manage to hunt down the opener, Luciano Benavides, until the very end. Like Skylar, he said it was anything but a transition stage, with stony plateaus, poor visibility and intense navigation. He still came second, though, around 2 minutes down, and he tightens his grip on third overall. Well, Luciano is still very much in the fight for the podium, which would be his best results at the Dakar. In 7 previous appearances, he's gone as high as 6th in 2020 and 2023. The Argentine put in a sensational showing this morning to win for the 2nd day in a row, despite opening all day long, and he's now just 7 minutes behind Van Beveren in the standings. I opened from start to finish, so I had to be super focused on navigation. It was very complicated and very easy to get lost, but I'm very happy because I opened the piste very well. I made a few mistakes at the end, but overall I felt very, very good, so yeah, I'm happy. Well, here are the remaining 10 Rally GP riders who were separated by around 25 minutes today. KTM picking up their 7th win out of a possible 10 since the prologue. Sanders increases his lead again to 14 minutes 45, with VBA now at 20 minutes 21. Benavides and Brebeck round out the top 5.
After 10 days of mental and physical examinations unlike any other, the end is within sight. 115 started Rally 2 this year, 21% have abandoned. Of 22 who started original by Moto, only 5 have failed to continue. Those who take on the unassisted challenge are built differently. Second to Tobias Ebster in 2024, Jérôme Martini is hunting a return to the overall Malmoto podium. The Belgian also fighting for a best overall bikes finish, 25th, needing to beat 24th. Another one on course for a best finish in his 3rd edition, Vassilios Bordros. The Greek said he hadn't been able to prepare as much as previous Dakars, clearly hasn't held him up. Andrea Winkler came home as 7th best on Special 9 in Original by Moto, and the same in the overall. A few bumps and bruises are part of the course for MMA and the Dakar, yet Ahmed Alabert says he's never been knocked out in the hexagon, yet the Dakar is the one to knock him down. But not out, back up, and safely reaching the bivouac. Navigation was a nightmare. On a short special, it was in no way an easy day out in the Saudi sands, with rocks also causing havoc. Meanwhile, the top of the Malmoto title race, it appeared to be a big day for the man chasing down the top spot. Benjamin Mello was the fastest for a 3rd win and first at stage 6. Of course, for a 4th Malmoto podium, but desperate to turn bronzes and silver into gold. Well, I've shortened the time between myself and Emmanuel Genis, and I'll give everything to reel in the victory. But it wasn't to be. A late 2-minute penalty meant Mello lost the special win. Genis adding 57 seconds, the Romanian now nearly 13 minutes ahead. Toby Hedericks came inside the top 20 in bikes overall after another strong showing from the rookie Australian, 5th on the special in Rally 2. But it was a welcome success for Mathieu Dovez as the Frenchman continues in Dakar experience. 4 straight top 20 on 2 wheels, showing his talent. But this is the first time in the top 10. Just missing out on stage victory, but delighted after a challenging ride. Well, it was okay, even though I made a small error at the start with my navigation. I searched the right way, but there were lots of paths. But I was concentrated and found the right one, so it went well. Continuing his procession to the Rally 2 title, Canet with another victory, this time by 1 minute 40 seconds. As we saw earlier, Aaron Murray crashed out, but thankfully Romain Dumontier and Tobias Ebster were close by, the pair stopping to make sure the South African was okay before restarting. They did get time back as Dumontier finished 3rd, but not so lucky for Ebster. Well, we waited around 50 minutes, the time it took for the helicopter to arrive. Ebster and I left together. He left in front and got lost. The Austrian found his tablet wasn't working and problems continued, which only complicated his day. Time back, but still 20 minutes lost, although comfortable in second overall. Canet adding more strings to his brilliant bow, the first back-to-back special winner in Rally 2 this edition. Dovez and de Montier making up the top three. Red Bull's KTM's flying Catalan with almost an hour in hand, 2 Basque World riders and 2 Frenchmen in the top 5. On course for the Rally 2 title and top 10 in bikes overall. Now let's learn more about Canet's path to glory.
Just a year ago, I was watching them on TV. I hardly knew anyone. I think I'm living a dream. I think I got on a motorbike for the first time when I was 2 years old, and it was with my grandfather sitting on the back. But the first memory I have of riding a bike was with my brother. We had great times in the afternoons, and we did it as a hobby.
And it all started with motocross at an international level before the big move.
When I turned 18, I got my driving license and I decided to try a rally raid. At the end of 2023, I spoke to my parents and told them that I wanted my sport career to go into rally raid.
And one man has always been present in Edgar's career from a very young age.
For me, Nani Roma is the person that whenever I have to do something important, I always tell him or ask him. I think that since I was 11 years old, he is the person who has helped me the most on a sporting level, on a personal level, on an educational level too, in all aspects. And whenever I watched the Dakar, it was because of him. He is like the father I have on the Dakar. He is always helping me in every way possible. When I told him I wanted to do Rally Raid, he told me that I was crazy and it was a no.
And so came the Dakar in a factory team at the age of only 19.
I don't know if it's normal. I'm adapting. Sometimes I look at the bike and I say, oh, is this my bike? I knew it was going to be hard, but it's been a bit more than I thought. Morocco Rally in the first 2 days was very hard, but this has been multiplied by 3. I think you put pressure on yourself. There is no one around me who is putting pressure on me. They just tell me to learn. Every day when I arrive, they applaud me. They tell me that everything I'm doing is very good. So I don't feel pressure at any time, and I'm very happy with the people I have, because none of them is putting pressure. Learn. The objective is to learn. I have to push one day and see where I can get to, and if I made some mistakes, learn from it. That's what I'm doing here. But the first day I got lost, and these 2 days I haven't, so maybe I have learned something. These are things you learn day by day, and I think that's why I'm here, to learn from it, to know exactly what a Dakar is, to know how hard it is, and how to prepare myself for the next year, and later to be able to be fighting with the top riders.
And the young Catalan is learning very, very quickly, leading the Rally 2 class. So when does he think he'll win the Dakar?
I don't know. One day for sure, but I don't know when. 2000 something.
A big day in the ultimates. Henk Latergen came into today's stage leading by just over 5 minutes.
The next 2 days will be important, I guess, in the dunes, but today we just have to focus on the job we have, and then after that we can start thinking about the rest.
Chasing him is Saudi Arabian and fellow Toyota driver Yazid Al-Raji.
Now we are really in the short moment because not a lot of stages coming, only this one, and tomorrow one small, and the one after I think is now nearly maximum 3 days more.
Ladergen at the start line, opening the road after yesterday's stage win. Ladergen's teammate and compatriot Guy Botterill started second on the road, and it was his job to stick with Ladergen in case he ran into trouble. At 204 kilometres, he did. But Botterill and Dennis Murphy were on hand to lend assistance. Puncture changed, the two Toyota Gazoo Racing Hiluxes were back on track on today's fast, stony stage. "70 kilometres later, though, Botterill was out. A massive accident from which he and Murphy remarkably emerged unscathed.
It was a seriously big accident, the biggest of my life. But yeah, we can walk away with no issues, but very disappointed. We were going really well, but unfortunately there's motor racing, and when you're pushing hard, sometimes things go wrong.
Ladergen continued, but after 2 punctures and a missed waypoint, he only finished 11th, shedding minutes. The South African lost the lead of the Dakar that he had held since stage 2.
Not great, and then while we got lost, we got one puncture, and then towards the end we got another puncture. The wheel is actually flat. So yeah, messy day for us, but not the end of the world. We're still in it, but yeah, not a bit of a disappointing day.
It's a 20th Dakar this year for Isidre Esteve. The 52-year-old Spaniard finished 4th twice on the bikes in the early 2000s, and 19th today was his 3rd top 20 result of the rally so far. Juan Cruz Jacopini continues to have a strong event. The man from Mendoza is 7th overall, a couple of minutes behind Seth Quintero after finishing today 17th. And today was Simon Witz's best result of the 2025 Dakar, as the Frenchman finished the stage in 7th place, 11 minutes off the pace in his MD Rally Sport. Matthias Ekstrom finished today's stage 4th fastest. Distant form, but could do with a little more pace if he's to win the Dakar for the first time. He closed in on Henk Ladergen after his troubles, but remains 25 minutes adrift with 3 stages to go. The Ford M Sport driver's regularity of results could be crucial in the final few days. The new rally leader is Yazid Al-Raji. He's been lying second since stage 4. He said a few days ago that he was gradually increasing his pace to 100%, and although he only finished 3rd on the stage today, that pace was enough to move him into the lead of the Dakar, an impressive 7 minutes ahead of Henk Ladergen. Whilst a lot of drivers claim to be taking it day by day and stage by stage, there's no doubting Al-Raji's target.
I am very happy. We do a great job, like our plan. I think we push, good push. We enjoy, that's most important. I hope everything going well to next 3 days and to win Dakar.
Respect between the top 2 at the Dakar. It's been feast or famine for Guillaume de Mévius. After wrestling with an inadvertently front-wheel drive Mini yesterday due to a technical problem, de Mévius was back on form today. No problems and 2nd place on the stage. Today, though, belonged to Nasser Al-Attiyah. The Dacia Sandrider driver was on the attack from the very start, knowing he had 34 minutes to make up. Dacia have shown pace in their Dakar debut, but Sebastian Loeb abandoning after stage 2, various issues for Cristina Gutierrez, and Al-Attiyah himself running into trouble at times, they were yet to take a stage win. That changed today, though. 34 minutes to the lead at the start of the day became a 25-minute deficit to rally leader Al Rajhi by the end of the day. 3 stages to go. Al Attiyah is in the hunt. Just about. It was a hero's return to the bivouac for Al Attiyah. The Dacia team elated with their first stage win at the Dakar.
Today we win the stage is really nice for the team, and still we have 3 days left, and yeah, we'll see how we can make the strategy and how to at least to win more stage also.
There was yet another top 10 finish for Marcelo Tigli Gastaldi, whilst Rokas Pachuska picks up his 3rd top 10 of the Dakar. Nasser Al Attiyah's win, though, closes him in on the rally lead. It's Yazid Al Rajhi who now leads the way by 7 minutes over Henk Latergen, but the top 4 are separated by 25 minutes with just 4 stages remaining. The ultimates are a long way from over.
There was record participation that year, and I imagine it still stands.
There were lots of amateurs.
The aura of the Dakar was bigger than ever.
A record 603 competitors set off at the start of Dakar 88, but the field was drastically reduced on just the 2nd stage.
It was a sandy stage, really deep sand, incredible. They weren't dunes. They were like small, rounded valleys, but not real dunes. Very, very soft and very, very difficult.
The day's 250-kilometre special would prove too much for many Dakar hopefuls.
Tough, huh? Very tough. I feel sorry for the cars. And the trucks. Damn, I can't see how they'll get through.
Well, it didn't matter what you were driving. Everybody was struggling big time.
You needed a good starting position. I think there were 400 crews, including trucks, and if you set off behind them, it was a nightmare. Huge ruts, dust everywhere. It was a punishing stage.
It's very, very difficult for amateurs.
It was very long and rough and whatever. Normally, I mean, we did well normally most of the time in that kind of conditions. But in any case, in Dakar, you can never be sure. You always need a big dose of humility.
We've spent 3 hours trying to restart, and now we're pretty exhausted. It was an incredible mess. There were competitors strewn everywhere, and everybody arrived after nightfall. There was also a strong headwind which caused the cars to heat up, and a whole chunk of the Dakar just fell away.
In the end, almost 1/3 of the field, 164 riders and drivers, abandoned the Dakar on this 2nd stage.
That's the Dakar. The goal isn't for everyone to finish. It's to inspire the guys who are stuck in the desert and make them want to come back and finish. People used to say it was part of some master plan to get rid of a certain number of competitors, but I don't think that was the case. The terrain's difficult, everyone knows that. It's part of the game. We go into the Dakar knowing there are going to be some really tough moments.